While the waiter was serving dishes, he accidentally brought out a dish made by a kitchen helper. At that moment the restaurant was undergoing a star rating review. A food critic kept shaking his head at every signature dish. Just then, the waiter brought out the kitchen helper's dish. The impatient critic reluctantly picked up his chopsticks and took a bite. He was instantly stunned on the spot, and couldn't help but exclaim. He hadn't tasted such authentic water-stirred scrambled eggs in over a decade. The critic demanded to meet the head chef, saying he'd asked many chefs to make this dish, but none had ever made a true version of it. The seemingly simple egg dish tempted even the CEO. He took a bite, only to realize the taste was exactly the same as the one made by the person who once saved his life. It turned out that when he was a child, he was targeted by human traffickers. In a desperate moment, a young girl passing by saved him, but the boy had severe anorexia since birth. He couldn't eat anything. Luckily the girl had a natural gift for cooking. Seeing the weak boy lying in bed, she made a vow to help him recover. Every morning she went up the mountain to gather fresh ingredients, and cooked delicious meals for the boy. Soon the boy started eating her food, and his health gradually improved. Through days spent together, the two formed a deep bond. The boy gave her a family heirloom jade pendant, and promised to marry her when they grew up. But the good times didn't last. His parents found him and forced him to go abroad for treatment. When the girl rushed back after hearing the news, all she saw was the boy getting into the car. 10 years passed in the blink of an eye. The girl became the top disciple of a legendary chef. Her skills even surpassed her master's. One day the master's old friend needed urgent help from a top chef, so the master gave his friend's address to the girl, and sent her to the rescue. The boy had now grown into a leader in the culinary world, and had returned home to manage the family business at his grandfather's request. All these years, he had been trying to find the girl who once saved him, but his childhood memories had long faded. All he remembered was the jade pendant he gave her. What he didn't know was that the girl had been invited by his grandfather to work at the company. It was her first time in the city, and it took her a lot of effort to find the company. As soon as she walked in, she saw a row of chefs standing in formation. Thinking they were welcoming her, she humbly stepped forward and bowed deeply. A scheming woman saw her dressed plainly, and assumed she was here to cause trouble. She immediately called for security to kick her out. The security guard charged at her aggressively, but the girl who grew up in the mountains moved swiftly, and took him down in seconds. The scheming woman was furious. She grabbed a vase and hurled it at the girl. Just then, the returning CEO happened to walk in, and saw the vase flying straight toward his head. Before it could hit him, the girl rushed forward and blocked it. The force knocked her into his arms, and accidentally stole his first kiss. When she got up, the assistant nearby panicked, because since that childhood incident, the CEO had always resisted being touched by strangers. Even the slightest touch would trigger a rash, but now he realized he didn't have any allergic reaction. Just as he thought he was cured, the scheming woman tried to take advantage of the moment, and approached the CEO to flatter him, but he immediately started coughing, and broke out in rashes all over his body. That's when he suspected that the only person he wasn't allergic to was the girl. The girl then handed him a small jar of snacks, saying it could help reduce internal heat and detoxify. To thank her, the CEO asked the scheming manager to take her to the kitchen for a tasting. This marked the beginning of their bond. Soon several dishes were served, but none of the judges wanted to try them. Everyone went to the kitchen and